Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin ti naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I am just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Hey, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week you're going to meet Gina Ray Hendricks. She is the creator of Hot Mama's Whiskey Kitchen, located just up the road from the romantic zone in Puerto Vallarta. Gina has a great story, and we're going to have an update from our friends over at El Rio BBQ. And, of course, we'll have some Vallarta news, so let's get right to it. Let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 19th of February, 2022. The Rise So You Think You Can Rise finals are finally here. Sunday the 20th, that's tomorrow, at Teatro Vallarta. The event starts at 7:30 in the evening. Tickets start at just 600 pesos. That includes 3 drinks as well, so you can get buzzed, you can enjoy the finals, and see who is going to be the winner of the So You Think You Can Rise contest, and who will be the next star of Puerto Vallarta. Anyway, buy your tickets, and even if you can't come, buy your tickets. The money all goes to a great, great cause. Of course, the kids over at RISE, that's Refugio Infantil Santa Esperanza. I have a link to the ticket office over at Teatro Vallarta, right in the show notes. And in the coming weeks, you're going to hear from more of the generous sponsors from this really, really great event. Lisa, Billy, I know you've been so busy with this putting this all together. You both are stars in my book. Vax passes remain for now in Puerto Vallarta, according to an article that I read in Banderas News. This is dated February the 13th. Vaccination certificates are still mandatory in Jalisco. On February 14th, the Jalisco Board of Health established that the need to present a COVID vaccine certificate or negative PCR test to enter bars, clubs, casinos, and other entertainment venues will remain in effect at least until March 15th, 2022. Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, Mexico, it reads, after Governor Enrique Alfaro Ramirez announced that the same measures that are enforced today will continue in the coming weeks. Last Thursday, state authorities on Saturday confirmed that vaccination certificates will still be required to enter bars, clubs, and other leisure establishments, despite the fact that the deadline was set to expire, like I said last week, on February 12th, 2022. It was last January 14th when it became mandatory to present said certificates to enter bars, clubs, cabarets, billiard halls, and nightclubs. However, the date on which that rule would lose validity was Saturday, February 12th, according to what was published in the official state newspaper. But in the current report, it highlights that the certificate or negative PCR test will continue to be necessary to enter these businesses, although it was not specified until what date the establishments must request these documents. How exciting. Let's see, new containment strategies were also announced in which municipal governments will have to establish their own mechanisms to prevent COVID-19 contagion and will no longer be governed by state orders. Oh, well, that's also very interesting. Okay, I have a link to that article from banderasnews.com in the show notes. There are new rules concerning COVID testing for Canadians. Here's from CBC News Business, dated February 15th. Ottawa is dropping pre-arrival PCR tests for travelers as of February the 28th. Travelers entering Canada will no longer have to take a pre-arrival molecular test, such as a PCR, as of February 28th. Health Minister Jean-Yves Duclos announced on Tuesday. Travelers will still be required to take a pre-arrival test, but they can instead opt for an authorized rapid antigen test taken more than 1 day before their scheduled flight or arrival at the land border. Molecular tests will still be accepted, but antigen tests are typically cheaper and can provide results within minutes. Also starting February the 28th, unvaccinated children under the age of 12 entering Canada with fully vaccinated parents will no longer have to avoid schools, daycare, or other crowded settings for 14 days, said Duclos. Currently, travelers entering Canada must show proof of negative molecular test taken within 72 hours of their departing flight or planned arrival at the land border. Fully vaccinated travelers may also be randomly selected for a PCR test upon arrival. Duclos said that its arrival testing program will remain in effect, but as of February the 28th, those selected for testing will no longer have to quarantine while waiting for their results. The government also announced plans to lift its current advisory against non-essential travel abroad. Duclos said the government is making the changes because of improving pandemic conditions. We have passed the peak of the latest wave, driven by the Omicron variant, he said. In addition, after 2 years of following individual public health measures, such as getting vaccinated, wearing masks, keeping our distance, and staying at home if sick, Canadians know what to do to keep themselves and each other safe. The travel itch is boosting vacation bookings, but COVID testing remains a key hurdle. Duclos added that travel measures could change depending on the direction of the pandemic. Of course, we want to keep our thumb on that one. If conditions continue to improve, he said, further testing measures could be dropped, such as a testing requirement for Canadians visiting the United States for short trips under 72 hours. The government made no mention of dropping its rules that air passengers who test positive while abroad must wait at least 10 days before entering Canada. I want to underscore that Canadians should still exercise caution when traveling abroad, said Duclos. There is still the real risk of becoming sick or stranded. Over the past several months, members of the travel industry and some physicians have lobbied the government to nix all testing requirements for fully vaccinated travelers. People must pay for their pre-arrival molecular tests, which can cost hundreds of dollars. It can also be difficult to get the test results within the specified 72 hours, as they typically must be processed in a lab. The article goes on, and you can read more if you'd like. I have a link to that CBC article in the show notes over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Do you remember COVID toe? Well, last week I told you the story about my experience, taking horse meds and zinc and doxycycline to combat that nasty coronavirus that I contracted when I was down last time in Paradise. And if you remember, I mentioned that I was a little bit disappointed that the horse medicine didn't make my my dick bigger. Well, anyway, you will never believe this, but it's been brought to my attention that there's this thing called COVID dick. And if you go and do a Google search of COVID dick, there are many headlines that pop up. Here's a few. Sadly, COVID dick is real. This is from Gizmodo. Man says COVID causes penis to shrink by 1.5 inches. This is from Business Insider Online. From Newsweek, what we know about COVID and penis size. And here's one from webmed.com. Coronavirus lingers in penis and could cause impotence. Who makes Viagra? Oh, yeah. Pfizer. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it looks like I dodged a bullet here, but maybe that horse meds, that I did take, maybe there was a wash, maybe I just didn't notice. Who knows? Wait. Here's one from Forbes. July 2020. Man suffers 4-hour erection with COVID-19 coronavirus infection. Man, have things changed? See, I won't read it. Never mind. These people got to get their story straight. All right, let's move on. Let's go back to Puerto Vallarta, shall we? The food bank is having a fundraiser March 6th. From 3 until 6 p.m., the Vallarta Food Bank will be having their Spring Fling, and it's a major fundraiser for the charity. And word is out that 95% of the tickets have already been sold out, so there's only a few tickets remaining. There's going to be more than 50 artists there. There's going to be 7 restaurants represented there, 8 bands, and just, if you're going to be in town, it's going to be an afternoon of fun over at Tierra Noble, which is a fantastic open-air event space over in the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood. And, of course, this is all in support of the Vallarta Food Bank. The tickets, the remaining ones, are 500 pesos each. That includes food and a glass of wine. And, of course, there's going to be a live and silent auction, as well as raffles and dancing and much more. I even made a piece of jewelry for them to raffle off there. So if you're planning on being in town, see if you can land one of those remaining tickets. And, of course, the tickets are available over at Cassandra Shaw Jewelry, Nacho Daddy, Benito Kitchen, the Living Room Bookstore in the Marina. And you can look in the show notes if you're driving around and want to find out where you can buy those remaining tickets. And it will be a great event. And, of course, it is a great cause. One of my favorites, Vallarta Food Bank. And speaking of Vallarta Food Bank, we all know that Francine Nunian over at Benito Kitchen is very heavily involved in the food bank. And, of course, we also remember that her restaurant was destroyed in the flood. Remember that over along the Rio Quale during Hurricane Nora. And she just opened up her new restaurant in the Romantic Zone. It is over on Venustiano Carranza, 512. She just had a soft opening this week, and she should be off and running next week, she says. So we are extremely excited for you, Francie. And get on over there, over to Bonito Kitchen and Bar. And, of course, now they are in not just in Versailles, but now again in the Romantic Zone of Puerto Vallarta. So congratulations, Francie. Congratulations. I'll get over there just as soon as I can. Now, back in December, I stopped in to talk with our friends over at El Rio BBQ. And at the time, I was filled in by Kurt and Hollis about the possibility that they might be losing their lease after this year. And we agreed actually to talk as long as we didn't discuss that, and at least until we were sure that the landlord had, really found somebody else that would pay more than they could afford. And, well, let's put it that way. Anyway, so sure enough, it actually came to pass. This is going to be the last high season for Kurt and Hollis over up at El Rio BBQ. And it's very sad. However, they do have a full schedule that's planned for the remainder of their time up in Paso Ancho, up at that beautiful, beautiful place up at El Rio BBQ. So let's go up there right now, up to Paso Ancho, up to El Rio BBQ, and let's talk with Hollis and Kurt and see what's cooking. All right, here I am at El Rio BBQ. Hollis, how you doing?
Great today, beautiful.
Kurt, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
It's really nice to be here today. It's really nice to be in an outdoor venue like this, right by the river, as people are coming back out of the craziness. So, what you guys got planned? What's going on?
Well, I can speak a little bit to the music and some of the events that are coming on, and Hollis can certainly speak to some of the food that we've cut coming out of the kitchen. This is we're just starting our 12th year, aren't we? Yeah, 12
wow.
years. So we've got music 6 days a week, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Go to the website, go to Facebook. You'll see who's playing every day. We've got 12 tribute shows lined up starting in January that'll hit about 6 p.m. and kind of tie in with Tuesdays. Tribute Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Got some good performers coming up, so
It's an early show. Starts at 6 p.m.
yeah.
Okay. All right. And it goes till what?
It's a 70-minute show, so
Okay,
people
hour.
will be out of here by 8:39, 8 o'clock, 9, somewhere there.
Very
try
nice.
to get it
And
done
what kind of
early.
tributes we got going here? What are they?
I don't have the list in front of me, but we have Roy Orbison. We've got a young Johnny Cash. Our best buddy Elvis is coming back. Neil Diamond, all those guys.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Nice.
And I think the Soul Brothers are coming back. Blues Brother act again. Yeah.
A lot of the classic acts out of the 60s and some of the 70s. So
Okay. All
people
right.
would remember them. They'd like to sit and watch and even participate.
Right. So what about the menu? How's everything going there? I saw you. Have you changed the menu? Is it pretty much the same as it's always been?
We haven't changed the menu. It's just we just add some new things every once in a while. We have a crab cake. We have which is absolutely brilliant. An idea that we do something like
I
that
would say so.
in an all meat restaurant. But our ribs are always the best, so you can't compare.
No, you can't. They're the best in town. Absolutely. And they're the best in the Bay, for goodness sake. Come on. All right. Is there anything else you want to add? Is there anything else that's
we've
happening
got,
around?
we have a few events that are sort of on the schedule. A lot of it is dependent upon whether people are coming back down. And Riverfest is probably the biggest event we do here every year, and it was canceled last season. And we're looking to put it in again, but it's still sort of on the table for another week or so.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of
The
iffy.
decision will be made before Christmas whether we'll do a Riverfest 10 here the end of February.
Okay. Very good. All right. Well, we'll look for that. And you remember that if you want to know what's going on over at El Rio BBQ, you just got to go to their Facebook page and like it and follow it, and you'll get all their information there. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, some tentative plans for a couple of other shows that we want to do. We want to do a beach party that's going to happen. Look at our website for that. We were trying to put together a Mardi Gras. We had a Mardi Gras last year, which was quite successful. People came in costume and just enjoyed themselves. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, fantastic.
Yeah, we like to think of ourselves as being the place to throw a party and the place where we actually do throw the party.
You do throw a party. You know how to do it here. That's for sure. And this is the Hollywood Bowl of Mexico right here. I gotta say right now, with that wall there, that's what I call it. Guys, I want to thank you again for welcoming me here and making me feel like I belong here. Thank you so much, very much.
Thanks, Barry.
Barry, thank you. Glad to have you. Good to see you again.
All right, I have a link in the show notes for El Rio BBQ. If you haven't been up there ever, you better get up there now. And of course, if you have been there, you better get up there before they are gone forever. As for who's moving in, well, we're just going to have to wait and see. All right. Now, our featured guest and her restaurant was suggested to me by a friend of mine from Canada, who's also lucky enough to live here in Paradise. Anne, thank you so much. Anne asked me, she says, have I ever been to a place called Hot Mama's Whiskey Kitchen and met the lady in charge, Gina? And I told her that I really wanted to go there and to eat there, and I definitely would love to meet Gina. So Anne hooked us up, and Gina invited me up to her restaurant. So how do you get there? You need to take Highway 200 past the Pemex gas station, and you just keep on going south, just a short way, about a mile up the road. It's situated between two condos on the ocean side of the road. So that's where you're going to be looking for it. And it's a little restaurant. It's an open concept with a little peekaboo view of the ocean. It maybe has, I don't know, like 15 tables or so. It's not really big. It has room for a small stage. It's got a nice bar in there. And of course, the place is Whiskey Kitchen, Hot Mama's Whiskey Kitchen. And it's got a very, very nice vibe. The food, well, you'll hear about the food. In fact, let's hear about it right now. Let's go up to 200, the Carretera Costa de Barra de Navidad, and let's go to 520 just about a mile out of town in Empas. And let's visit Gina Ray Hendricks, the lady in charge at Hot Mama's Whiskey Kitchen, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Gina, thanks for coming on the show today.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
Okay, so I grew up in South Carolina, and I lived 20 plus years in Nashville, Tennessee. And then I moved to Mexico City. I lived there for 8 years. And then I've been in Puerto Vallarta for 8 months. So I'm a newbie here. I'm a baby here. But for Mexico, I'm not a baby for an expat.
Yeah, so you were in Mexico City for a long time. What were you doing there?
A long time. So I moved to Mexico to open a wine import business. And I did that.
Yeah.
And it probably was not the best business model in the world for Mexico. So in the midst of all of that, I had a dream. And I was in a chef coat in front of a chicken shack. And that's how I decided to open the restaurant I have in Mexico City. It's called Hot Mama's Hot Chicken, or Hot Mama's Kitchen. And we do a lot of fried chicken sandwiches. And that's still open. But the wine business didn't make it through COVID, but the restaurant did. My heart suffered tremendously in that giant city through COVID. And so I am a little bit of a crazy person, and I posted in one of the groups here in Puerto Vallarta, does anybody have a space they would like to invite me into, because I have a concept in Mexico City that works, and I would love to share it with Puerto Vallarta. And my partners, Brian and Roger, answered. And I did it. My partner, Alan, and I came. I moved in 3 weeks after we made the final decision to work with them. And we flipped this awesome little palapa in 4 days. And here we are.
Wow. Okay, so we are sitting in this pretty cool space, and it's right along Highway 200. You don't get a lot of road noise because you're off the road, which is nice. How'd you find this place? How'd you find the shack?
Well, literally through Brian and Roger. I had no idea. I've been to Puerto Vallarta 4 times, and I loved it every time I came. But I sold wine, so I would go to Nuevo Vallarta and meet with Vidanta, and then I would go and meet with sommeliers over there. And I came over here twice, like I had dinner at a couple of restaurants, but I had no concept of the real Puerto Vallarta, the old town, other than like I strolled through one day and went to La Palapa.
Really?
You know, like I had no clue.
Yeah.
I had no clue of entertainment here. I had no idea there were many amazing artists. The artist communities here, no idea. So it's all been sort of this amazing adventure of, the community here happened so quickly and so fast. I was very welcomed here. Mexico City, not so much. It was much more difficult for me there.
To like make friends and to make connections and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in Mexico City, evidently they like fried chicken.
They do.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. I'm very, very lucky. And my spot there is even smaller than this one. It's in La Condesa. And I have an amazing manager there named Sandra, who worked with me side by side for over 2 years. So she knows all of my intricacies and, our credo. And, she's very talented. And she's the reason I think I am able to be here most of the time. I go back and forth, but here is where I love. So here I'm trying to spend, 90% of my time.
You got some catch up to do, lady. You only been here for 4 months
I
now.
know.
Come on. Yeah.
I know. And here's a good story if you want a good story. So Sandra I was looking for a way to give her a bonus and to sort of let her know how much I appreciated her work and her time, because she's done a tremendous job. And she'd never seen the ocean, and she'd never been on a plane.
Oh.
So for her bonus this year before Christmas, we brought her here. And we got in the ocean together, and we saw the sunset together, and it was pretty magical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You took a big risk doing that. She might not want to go back to Mexico City.
Well, she said, "Hey, I can work here one day," and I said, "Yeah, sure."
Don't listen, Sandra.
Yeah.
Don't listen.
Yeah.
We love you, Sandra. You'll listen. I know you'll listen. All right, so tell us about Whiskey Kitchen. Tell us about the concept. Tell us about what's going on here.
Okay, so this is an interesting story. So in Whiskey Kitchen, you cannot trademark in the United States. I opened a Whiskey Kitchen in Nashville, but it wasn't mine. And it was way more like bar food, but the cocktail recipes were mine. So my experience in restaurants, so I've opened over 30 in my life, but only
Wow.
3 that are mine. I work
You
for
open for
everybody
others.
else.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, for corporate accounts and things like that. And so it is a different ballgame. But there, the little Whiskey Kitchen I opened is still open, and they still have my cocktails on the list, which is astonishing considering it's 13 years later.
Yeah, wow. Well, that means that you were ahead of your time.
Well, I don't know. So here with Whiskey Kitchen, obviously we have a liquor license. So this is Hot Mama's Whiskey Kitchen. And I'll give you a little tidbit of some news. 2 days ago, I signed my lease for a new location in Versailles. So it's an additional location that will be open February sometime.
Ah, good.
February sometime.
Good. All right. Secret's out, everybody.
It is a secret, right? But Whiskey Kitchen for me is all about comfort food. So my fried chicken recipe's my grandmother's. Her name is Coralie. She hangs in the restaurant in Mexico City, and I'm going to put her here and also over there. She taught me how to cook.
Wow.
Her mac and cheese recipe, this is hers, but I had to modify it a little bit for Mexico. And then...
Now, wait a minute. That's because of the ingredients? What was that?
They were ingredients. Yeah.
Okay. The pasta is not the issue, or is the pasta
No,
the
it's
issue?
all about the cheeses.
The cheeses.
It's all about the cheeses and the sauce. And everybody that's had my mac and cheese can tell you it's about consistency and getting the cheeses right and make sure it's nice and ooey gooey and hot and all of those things.
Yeah.
And then here also at Whiskey Kitchen, I have a larger menu because we stare at the Pacific Ocean every day. So I found a good source of fresh seafood. I do fish and chips, and I also do a Charleston-style shrimp salad. And everything that I do is fresh. All of the comes from the market at Cinco de Diciembre, and they deliver every day if I need them to.
Oh, wow. You don't have to shop.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And it comes packed in ice, and they even take the shell off the shrimp for me, which saves my team 45 minutes a day.
Yeah. So that salad you were mentioning.
Yeah. I do make salad
here.
here.
What is that salad you were? What's in that salad?
So, Charleston style shrimp salad usually has fresh lemon juice, mayonnaise, and a little bit of red and yellow peppers, and a few seasoning on top of that. But it's very simple. But the deal is it has to be fresh shrimp. If you use frozen shrimp, you can tell.
Yeah.
If you don't use yellow lemon juice, you can tell. And it's one of my favorite things because growing up in Columbia, South Carolina, I would spend the summers in Surfside. And we would drive down to the hammock shops in Charleston, by Charleston, and get this special shrimp salad. So it's always been one of those things that I love. And being here, the quality that we get, no offense to Charleston, but Coldwater Pacific is better, but don't tell South Carolinians that.
All right, you guys. All right, so you make salad. You got salads on your menu, which is
do
great.
very fresh salads, and people, they don't believe me, but it's true. My salads are awesome, and they're super fresh because I want people to come and you can have a Cobb salad, and you can have the chicken on the grill if you want. We can do jerk shrimp if you want. We really try and listen to what people are interested in. I even have an all-veggie plate. It's rather robust. I'm Southern, so when you come, your portions are proper. Like, you're not going to leave hungry, and you'll probably leave with food to take home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so you got salads. You've got the mac and cheese. You've got the fried chicken. What else you got on your menu?
I love my marinated portobellos.
Oh, yeah? Really?
They're delicious, and you can have them on a sandwich. You can have them on a salad.
Oh.
You can have them, lots of different ways. And then we have a steak sandwich here that I love because of my bacon jam. So I make this, it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but it's made with bourbon. I cook a lot with Jim Beam. It's made with bourbon and white onions and a little bit of sugar and bacon, but it cooks very slowly, so it turns into a marmalade.
Oh.
And so that's on the steak Sammy.
Oh,
that one's
wow.
pretty yummy. And my burgers. So at the beach you have to have a burger.
Yes.
So some people do come just for the burger. They're smash style, diner style, like old school. And you get that bacon jam on there. My fried onions go on there. And sauteed Jim Beam shrooms as well. So it's a...
Oh, I'm so hungry right now. Why did you do that to me, Gina? That's delicious.
Yeah.
So burgers, you've got some steak, you've got fish, you do the shrimp salad and shrimp, right? And all that stuff.
And my kitchen's the size of a closet.
That happens a lot around here, doesn't it?
It does, but we figured it out, and I have a good team.
How was it, by the way, building this place? What was it like? I mean, you got it done pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, labor's hard, but what I have found in Mexico over my past 8 years is that you might have to interview and work with about 10 people, but one of those 10 will probably be some of the most loyal, hardworking people you'll ever meet. So I've learned that, but going through those 10 people takes time. And so to build a team, I chose to open during low season for a reason. It was expensive for me, actually, to come and do that, but I thought it was smart so that now when we have lines and all of that, we have much more better systems. We're able to get food out faster with higher quality. And if we would have started at high season, I think we would have failed, honestly.
All right, so let's talk about your bar. Let's talk about, you're the sommelier. You have wine here?
Yeah, we have a cute little wine list. I call it little. My quality, I feel like, is very high for what you get. My bottle prices are way lower than everybody else's because I love to see bottles on tables. I love to see glasses. I love to see my team walking around with wine in their hand and refilling glasses. I do believe you can make money on your beverage program, but I think if you do it smart, you're going to have people appreciate what's in their glass more. Our sweet and sour we make fresh every day. I do invest in yellow lemons and green lemons, and we're juicing and all of that. We make our own what we call simple syrup. All that stuff matters in a cocktail. But my program itself is based on bourbon for really obvious reasons.
Yeah, it's in the name.
And all our cocktails are meant to be done and able to be done in volume but well, right? So you can craft a good cocktail, but what you can do here is you can order a single or a carafe or a giant jarra, as you say in Mexico, that's 2 liters. So all of those things.
Fun times.
That's right. And one thing that's really cool, so back in Mexico City, I would make whiskey sours, and people would be like, why have I never had one of these? And I was like, I don't know, you're not Southern. Like, what can I tell you? And I feel like we've certainly reintroduced the whiskey sour in Puerto Vallarta. People will come, some of our older clients will say, I have not had a whiskey sour in 30 years, and I forgot how good they are. Huh. It's a perfect cocktail on the beach. Like, it's a perfect cocktail.
Yeah, so all you whiskey sour fans, line up. Come on over here and check that out.
Yeah, and another thing that's caught on, which I think is funny, is our Manhattans. So we do a maple syrup and bacon Manhattan.
Oh, wow.
And so a lot of people really are enjoying those.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Like,
It's unusual, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do make margaritas, and, we don't use any, cheap tequila, and none of this agave liqueur, nothing like that's ever going to get anywhere near my bar. But our margaritas are delicious. We make purees, fresh, stuff like that. But it's a tiny bar program. I like it. It's tight. So when you come, you're going to get a good quality cocktail.
Yeah. So what kind of wines are you carrying? You're carrying Mexican wines?
I have a little mix. I introduced Montagenique in the United States in HEB and those kinds of things. I've done lots of consulting over my many years in the beverage business. And I will say that Mexican wine, for me, some of it's amazing. It is very expensive if you compare it to other international brands for the price.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm a huge fan of Montagenique. I am a great fan of Casa Madero. Casa Madero is over by Monterrey, so it's a higher elevation. They don't have any water issues like Baja. And they're making some really nice stuff over there, really good wines for a good price. That's the secret here. Everything, I hope, is a good quality, good price, good pour. It's a value to... We just want you to come and feel like you've had a value, we over-deliver for what you pay.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Excellent. Has it been hard keeping your staff? I mean, now that things are opening up a little bit, is it hard to keep them, or what are your you have any difficulties with
I'm lucky.
Staff?
I'm lucky because we're busy. I think that's why I'm lucky. That and we're a team. I wash dishes. I clean the floor when I need to. I clean the bathrooms. I do all the things that they do, and side by side, and I think it's appreciated, and they see it. And I let them know they're appreciated. I think that matters too, and we pay pretty well. I try and pay more than the average restaurant and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Good for you. Good for everybody. What do you do? Desserts?
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about desserts.
Okay. So I make banana pudding. And we do pour bourbon on it if you'd like.
Of course you do.
Tableside. And it's my grandmother's recipe as well, because she added Philadelphia cream cheese in her recipe, so it's really as if it needs to be. It's richer. And it's kind of almost like a mix between a banana pudding and a cheesecake. But we sell them in these, you can get them to go even, in these little cups. So it looks like a little dessert, but it's really rich.
Yeah.
And then I have this dessert that I came up with in Mexico City. It's called the chocolate boom. So in the South, we fry honey buns. There aren't honey buns to be found here in Mexico. So I took about 10 different Mexican pastries, and I tested them all in the fryer. And the one that worked the best was a dessert called bigotes. And bigote in Spanish is mustache. So they're like these croissants filled with dark chocolate. And what we do is we deep fry those. And then we make a sundae on top of those with ice cream, chocolate syrup, chantilly, and you can have bourbon on that too. And we also make adult milkshakes.
Adult milkshakes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love adult milkshakes.
Yes, and you can share them. Uh-huh. I've had a party of 6, and we took 2 milkshakes and we split them, and everybody had a little cold shot because it was during the summer season when we were all very sticky.
Oh, okay.
And I think they had 5 rounds of those things. Not that anybody was counting.
No, that's tricky.
Yeah.
That's tricky. What do you involve in some of those frozen adult
So the one that's
shakes?
On the menu is the Jack Daniel's milk chocolate ice cream shake. But I've made all kinds of different options. My most recent favorite, because I like a little bit of bitter with my sweet, and so I did a little bit of sort of an adult frozen version of the Aperol Spritz, and that was kind of super refreshing, and I really liked that. But that's not on the menu. And then we also make...
So just keep it in your mind.
Yeah. If you catch me here, I can be creative.
Okay, good.
And carajillos. So a carajillo is actually a cocktail from Spain. And it typically has espresso, like coffee in it. And in Mexico City, it's insane. Like, you, in the afternoon at 5 o'clock, you're going to see like 20 carajillos going, shaken tableside. We have one called the Kentuckian for obvious reasons because my base is bourbon. And I also use this very special Sheridan's whiskey cream and espresso. And then we do put ice cream on top of that. It's a tasty little after-dinner drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should say so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm coming here just for dessert.
Okay.
All right. All right. So let's talk about. Let's go out. Let's leave Whiskey Kitchen just for a little while.
Okay.
And let's go out on town. I know that you haven't been here a whole lot, but you've been up north a lot, right? And maybe. Well, let's just find out. So if you were going to go for now, do you serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner here?
We just started brunch. I always do lunch and dinner 7 days a week.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about breakfast places.
Okay.
Do you eat breakfast?
I work a tremendous amount, but I do love breakfast.
Okay, good. All right, good. Because sometimes, I start and they go, I don't eat breakfast,
No, I eat all the things.
Oh, okay. You got a favorite? Yeah. You have a favorite breakfast spot
I
in town?
do.
What's your favorite?
I do. So my apartment is over in Cinco de Diciembre, which is very close to where we are, like 10 minutes away. And it's called Meño's Place. It's on you have to go into, it's open air, which I love right now, and it's on the second floor. And I find they're right by the Cinco de Diciembre market. Mm-hmm. They actually have the really best, what I've seen for value to what I will pay, seafood platters. For breakfast, her sauces. Meño's passed away, I believe, like a couple of years ago or something.
No, about a year ago.
Yeah?
Actually, yeah.
But their sauces are, it's not green, it's real Mexican food. So the sauces really have flavor. They don't change their pico de gallo and put cucumber in it. Like, it's still real Mexican food with good flavor, good service, lovely people, family owned, all that stuff.
Yeah, we love Meño's Place. If you're going to go off and get you like sushi?
I have not found a good sushi place here yet, but you can tell me where to go.
Well, listen to my podcast.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. How about a steak? Now, you serve steak here.
I serve steak Sammy's, but not like a proper steak.
All right, so what about steak? You got a favorite steak place in town yet?
Serrano's, I enjoyed my experience there. Uh-huh. That was delicious. I go back to La Palapa. I know that everybody's like, it's so touristy, but they still do a really good job. Right next to them, same owners, El Dorado. They have these tacos that are lobster and tuétano, which is what you would call bone marrow. But the two together, incredible.
Yeah.
Like super yummy stuff.
Wow. Nice.
Oh, and I went to Miss Maloya, and it's like a secret little restaurant. It's called, it's called Tony's.
Oh, yeah.
Tony's
Up
Secret.
on the hill.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the quality, and I love the old school service. It brought me great joy. I loved it. I thought it was super cool.
Wow, it's been years since I've been there. It's still
go
there.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, and they bring out the tray, and the older gentleman makes all your cocktails. It's cute.
Ah, neat. Okay, cool.
And affordable.
That's important. All right, I like that. Is that where you would go for seafood?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You got any favorite, how about vegetarian places? You got any of that happening?
I can't remember the name of it, but it's in Cinco de Diciembre. It's in my little neighborhood, and I apologize, I don't remember. Mary's, yeah.
Mary's
is very good.
Vegetariano Mary, I think
and
it is, yeah.
I think they do a really good job, and it's fresh and fun things. Like, I have been working here on a recipe we do keto-friendly fried chicken here.
Oh, cool.
With chicharron, like pork rinds. That's how we make it.
Uh-huh.
But I've also been working on a pressed tofu fried chicken tender here as well.
Ah.
And it's not finished and ready yet, but it's good. I think it's good to just have an option because large groups like to come here, which is cool. You know, sharing a table, people are still doing that, thank goodness. That
Yeah.
didn't die with all
No.
these other things that are going on. And so I appreciate people being able to come, and if you need something special, we try and make you happy. No?
So how do you make a keto fried chicken? What's the difference between that and just regular fried chicken?
Doesn't have any trigo, like any harina, any flour
Flour.
at all.
Yeah.
And so we use obviously our raw chicken. We roll it in crema, which is that special thing here. It's like a sour cream, but without the bitterness.
Uh-huh.
And I use that in all kinds of things. And then we roll it in crushed pork rinds,
Oh, wow.
right? And then we fry it. And
Yeah.
so people that are on keto diets, I have cauliflower mac and cheese, so you can get cauliflower rice, but done like a mac and cheese, so you can get those similar flavors with all the cheese without breaking your diet. You know, good to have options.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So, you found a workaround.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the chicharrones don't like burn and turn black on you or anything like that.
No, and you crush them up, and it works really nicely. I tried all kinds of other things.
I bet you did.
Almond flour. I use almond flour as well. So
okay. Yeah,
that
and
that helps
that's
after
keto. That's keto friendly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. See, I don't know anything about this stuff. I just eat everything.
keto. That's also gluten free. So people that don't do the gluten, you can do that.
Excellent. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What great options you have
Yeah.
here. Right.
Tiny
Okay.
place, but we try.
Yeah, no kidding. If you were to go for a day off somewhere, where would you go?
So I'm a beach girl. I love the ocean. I can tell you where I haven't been that I would like to go. Past Sayulita, San Pancho. So I haven't been there yet, but I would love to go.
Yeah.
I have been, if you're going to ask me about longer
Yeah, how about
opportunities.
like a 3-day shot or something like that.
Maito. I've been there twice. I've escaped. I'm gonna use the real word. I have escaped there twice, and I just loved it. There's this little couple that have a little bar there, El Rinconcito, like it's right at the little corner, and I bring them wine when I come. And
Fernando
they're
loves
super
you.
nice.
He must really love you.
They're super nice. And one night, I may have had a lot of beverages, and I was not ready to go to sleep.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, you know what? Just lock up, keep track of your drinks, and we'll see you in the morning. And I was like, where am I right now?
Yeah.
There is sanity in the world.
Yeah, it's like they're on the honor system there.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, El Rinconcito is the place. And you can camp on the beach right in front of there, too. They got a little spot if you want to bring a tent, don't want to pay for a place. You can actually
well,
bring
that
your
I didn't
tent and
know.
camp on the beach for, a fraction of that price.
Oh,
Although it's not expensive to stay there at
Yeah,
all.
pretty
It's
affordable.
very affordable. If you had a word of advice for a first-time traveler to Puerto Vallarta, what would that be?
my real answer,
Yeah.
because I'm a super transparent person, my real answer is go see some of real Mexico, not just the touristy areas. And go have some awesome tacos. You can come see me, and that's cool. I love that and would welcome you with open arms. But you're in a place, it's a different country. And so travel outside of expat land a little bit and just meet some people, because you'll find really great people, really lovely, kind, generous people here.
Yeah, beautiful people. How about a word of warning? You got any words of warning?
Yes. Two different things I'll say here. One, you're not in the United States. And so the expectations that you bring with you here, change them. Be patient. Logistics works different here. A restaurant owner, the wine list is going to change. We're going to be out of things. It happens. So when you're around businesses, just be more patient. and be kinder to people, because it really isn't easy to have a business in this country. I know it seems like the dream. I get that, but it is really hard work. And so I think the kinder, if you just bring your kindness and your patience with you, you're going to have an awesome time. If you come with all the expectations, you know that people call it the Karen thing or whatever. If you do that, just don't do that. Don't come here if you're going to do that. Be lovely.
Excellent. I love that.
Okay.
I love that. Before we say goodbye, because you've got a business in Mexico City and because you've spent a lot of time in Mexico City, is it easy to come back and forth from Vallarta to Mexico City? And I know they have Airbnbs. I know they've got all kinds of stuff like that. What's that kind of vibe like in that town?
It's completely different from here, but it's awesome. It's a wonderful city to visit. It has great energy. It has more museums than Paris. I think there's better entertainment in Puerto Vallarta, but the museums in Mexico City are amazing. The food, wow. I mean, some areas are really expensive, like on par or more expensive than Manhattan.
Wow. Oh, that is expensive.
Polanco specifically. But the city's amazing. So if you want a completely different vibe, and you can get there easily and you can get there cheaply. So you can hop on a plane. You're there in an hour and 20 minutes. $60 maybe US to get there. Maybe sometimes that's even round trip.
Yeah.
And you'll have a good time.
Where would you stay in town?
It's a big city.
If you're going to stay for a short time,
I love where Hot Mama's. I love where my little spot is in La Condesa and Roma Norte. I love those two. People walk around there. You're going to run in. You're going to hear. You walk on a street. You're going to hear 5 languages as you walk down the street, and it's beautiful. The parks are beautiful. It's a good time. Like you would have a really nice time.
How many days should you give yourself?
I think 3's awesome, but I'm also I'm a 2-day Vegas girl and a 3-day New York girl. So I think I think Mexico City's probably a 3-dayer. If you are way into museums, give yourself 5 days. Like if you love architect, give yourself some time. But
all right, well, thanks for that. I need that, because I think people sometimes they're here for a long, long time and they need a little bit of a break, and that just sounds like a great place to go.
It's a great place to go,
Just
and you
kind
can
of
maneuver
explore.
fairly well there. Uber is alive and well. It's logistically, it works much sounder than Puerto Vallarta. It's a big city.
Yeah.
25 million people.
Well, yeah. Bigger than L.A. almost.
It's a big city.
Yeah. All right, so where do we find you? How would we find you? You're online, you got the Facebook,
so
you got
what I learned here is Puerto Vallarta is a huge Facebook community. Everybody talks to each other on Facebook, and so we're at Whiskey Kitchen PV there. And all of my information I release. We have live entertainment every day for free here from 7:30 to 9:30. I sing a little bit. You'll see me hop up, get down. It's super fun. You can call us directly anytime. My cell phone's all over the internet. You can reach me directly. The only struggle we have here is our phone is internet driven, and Puerto Vallarta at times often we will lose our internet and have all kinds of issues. But Facebook really, I think, is the best way. But we have Instagram and all of that. But I think for here, Whiskey Kitchen PV, Facebook is the best way.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have all those links. I'll have the Instagram page, too, because I love your Instagram page. I follow that, too. And, of course, I'll have the directions, and I'll have a Google map that'll take you right to the front door of Hot Mama's Whiskey Kitchen.
Oh, beautiful.
And so I want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day and allowing me to introduce Hot Mama's Whiskey Kitchen
Thanks,
to my
Barry.
my
I'm happy to
listeners.
meet you, too.
Well, finally happy to meet you, too.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Gina. Now, Gina had mentioned that they're going to have a new location in Versailles, and it is just about ready to open. She plans to have a soft opening at the end of this month, with a grand opening planned for April the 1st, which happens to be Gina's birthday, so mark that on your calendar. I'll fill you in on the address next week as well as the opening dates, and I have links to everything that we talked about, of course, in the show notes, and you can find them at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. All right, well, that should do it for today. Hey, next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you need to go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website. Reserve your tour right through JR, right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing that through him as a way of saying, thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you're going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, please email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, JR's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe or follow or whatever they got right now on your podcast app. Make a good review, or even better yet, tell a friend. That's how you get out the word to more and more people, and we can spread the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create, but if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures, and more right there in the blog posts, and in the show notes for each episode of the show, so check them out for sure if you haven't already, all right? All right. Well, hey, make sure you get your tickets for, the Rise event. I have links in the show notes. Thank you, Hollis. Thank you, Kurt, over at Rio BBQ. Go see them while they're still there, everybody. And thank you, Gina Hendricks, over at Hot Mama's Whiskey Kitchen in campus. And soon in Versailles, right? Dig into her delicious fried chicken, waffles, oh my gosh, Mile High sandwich. Oh my, just get over there, have a whiskey sour. You will not be disappointed. Maybe you might even catch Gina singing a song or two, you never know. But anyway, I have links in the show notes, as well as some great food porn pics. Oh my gosh, have a look. And hey, thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler, signing off with a wish for you all to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino interno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta.